Okay, so this is a video to help me remember how to make this card. I found this on YouTube. The account was called The Paper Haven. A lovely lady from England had some really decent instructions on how to make it, but I think I want to kind of expand on those instructions so they're a little bit more understandable. It's a really neat card because it starts out like this, and then when you open it, the view of it changes so that it becomes landscape. It goes from a portrait to a landscape, and it's really, really pretty. I really love the way this one turned out. I'm probably going to use it for a wedding. And then the ribbon just keeps it closed. So I wanted to remember how to do this, and it was difficult to write down all the instructions, so I'm going to make myself a video reference of it, and whoever else wants to use it. So the paper I'm going to use, my idea came from this really cute pack of paper. It's called the Bow Bunny Beautiful collection. And I thought it would be really fun to kind of do something a little bit more colorful, maybe a little bit brighter. So we're going to use that. And then we're going to use some of these, probably this one that says happiness on it, or the bee. I haven't decided, but we'll see when we get that far. So first of all, I'm going to tell you some of the pieces that you need, and then I'll give you some of these instructions. First of all, you need 2 pieces of cardstock that are 10 1/4 by 4, and they will both be scored at 5 1/2. Now I've already done that part so you can see it. So you have 2 pieces, they're the same, 10 1/4 inches by 4 inches, and then score them at 5 1/2. Now this part I haven't done ahead of time because I wanted to show you how to do it. So what you want to do is you want to take these 2 pieces and you want to line them up where this short side of the section of this piece of paper is at 4 inches. And then you want to make a mark where the track of your trimmer is. So you're going to make a mark right here. So you line that up with 4 and then make a mark where the track is. And then you're going to do the same thing with the other piece of paper. Again, the short side goes to the left and you line that up on 4 and make a mark where your track is. Now once you've done that, when you're finished, you want to take, so you have these two pieces of paper sitting here the same direction. Take the bottom one and spin it 180 degrees. So now your mark is on this side and your mark is on this side. So you have those on opposite ends away from each other. Now what you want to do is you want to score from that pencil mark to the corner. So I'm going to start with the top one. I'm just going to set my trimmer right on top of my other one so I don't get confused. And I'm going to put the mark that I just made inside the track, and I'm going to turn it until my corner is right there in the corner. I'm going to close my little guard, and I'm going to score from the corner to that mark. So now I have a triangle that doesn't quite come to the edge, which is just the way you want it. So that's the top one. I'm going to put that back there where that mark is on the top. And then I'm going to grab the other one and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the mark in my track in the corner, on the corner. Close that and push down so it doesn't move on me. And I'm going to score a triangle. So now what I have is I have 2 pieces of paper that are essentially the opposite of each other. You've got a triangle on this side and a triangle on this side. Now the next thing I'm going to have you do, or I have myself do, is I'm going to glue these 2 pieces together, because this is how we make our card. So you're basically going to take the long edge and the long edge. It doesn't matter which one goes on top. And you're just going to glue one right on top of the other. For some reason I like this one better, so that's going to go on the top. Now you can tell when I move this glue around that this is textured cardstock. I really like textured cardstock. Some people really hate it, but I think it's really beautiful. So you just want to line that up with that score line that you made. That goes straight up and down. Make sure you got it nice and even. Give it a nice press. Doesn't look like I got enough glue on that edge, does it? See if I can get some more glue down in there without taking it apart. So this is a really cool little fine line applicator I found on Amazon. I put a bottle of my Tombow in it, and it works just beautifully for real fine lines like this when I don't want all the glue to eke out. It does a really beautiful job of just giving me just the amount of glue I want. It was on Amazon, excuse me, as a 3-pack. And I can't say enough good things about it. It works really well. Make sure that's glued down nice and tight. I don't know why those look like they're different colors, but now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this end up and this end down. So this goes up. Make sure that's aligned nicely. And then we're going to fold this one down, or up, depending on how you want to do it, whatever works best for you. Looks like I might need some more glue on that edge too. That'll stay better. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take those triangle edges, those triangle pieces, and we're going to fold them down. So you'll see at this point the card kind of, the base of the card is finished. So you want to line up your edge nice and neat. And you are going to have a reveal here, which is just the way you want it. And then this other triangle, we're going to fold it out as well. So line up those edges nice and straight. You're going to have a small gap in the center, which is just perfectly fine. So that's our basic card. You can see how that's going to work. Now comes the really fun part. We're going to decorate it. I kind of like to go overboard with this card because it's so cool to begin with. So I'll show you how I do that. So on the inside, your piece of paper that goes here in the center is going to be 5 3/8 by 3 7/8. And I like to do some fun stuff with the corners on this. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It's a Fiskars, I think it's called Lace Corners. Yes, it is. And it has 3 different patterns. All of them are really pretty. And I think for this one, I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this one with the dots, since it kind of looks like flower petals. Using this can be kind of tricky. It takes a bit of effort. It's definitely worth it. I think I've said this before in a video I did already. It sounds familiar to me. So you want to line that up where the corner's nice and tight, put some tension on it, and push down. I don't know if you can see that very well, but now you've got this real cute little thing, and it actually kind of looks like honey. Isn't that cute? And I like to do all 4 corners of this and the piece of paper that I'm going to put on the top. So there's my base. Now your white piece of paper that you put on top of this measures 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. Now you can see if we don't do anything to the corners of this, you can't see that we did anything to the corners of the piece underneath it. So we're going to punch out these corners real quick too. Now, if you like more of a reveal, you can always adjust your sizing. Some people like quite a bit more space between their bottom and their top one. I go back and forth. I guess it kind of depends on the look I'm going for. Get rid of all that. So I'm going to glue down my little bit of honeycomb here. Didn't get that very even, did I? There we go. This white piece on the top. Punch that corner again. That doesn't look quite right, does it? I hope it doesn't mess it up. And that's a little better. Probably should have left it alone. Oh well. I just got opened a brand new bottle of glue, so I kind of like to start in the middle. That way if I have an explosion of it, I don't have glue squeezing out all of my edges, because that's just such a huge pain. So even though you can't really see the pattern on our corner that we cut, this corner matches this corner, and I think it provides a really nice finished look. I really like the way that turned out. So now you want to erase your pencil marks that you made previously. So you should have one on the top, one on the bottom. Excuse me. Now we're going to decorate these outside panels. And for that, you need one piece of 3 1/4 inch by 3 1/4 inch square piece of paper. I'm going to use this real pretty iridescent kind of gray. Make sure that's the right size. 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. So what you're going to do with this is you're going to cut this diagonally in half. I use a mini trimmer for that. This is really old. This is from Creative Memories ages ago. So I just put this corner on the line and that corner on the line. Make sure you hold on to that. Keep your fingers out of the way and come straight down. So now we have our 2 pieces that we need that are going to go here. Now, what I did on the other card was I rounded just this bottom corner of that There's one for the top and the bottom. Then the next piece that you're going to put on top of that, again, you don't have to do it this way if you don't want to, but I like the way this turned out. So we're going to take, this piece is 3.5 by 3.5, and you only need one of these. I cut 2 because I was thinking I was going to do something else. I'm not going to do that. So you only need one of each of these. This was the bigger one. This is 3 3/4 square. And then for the other piece that goes on top of it, you need 3.5 square. And I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to do the same thing with it. You're going to cut it in half on the diagonal, corner to corner. And again, I'm going to put some fancy corners on it. Let's stick these down. Can get a little tricky. This part can get in your way when you're trying to work, so sometimes it's easiest just to move it, straighten it out. So there's this. This is this really pretty iridescent kind of gold gray. It turned out really nice. And we're going to put our pattern piece of paper on it. Took me forever to do the first one because I just didn't even know what I wanted to put on it. I think planning the card takes longer than making it when you don't have the exact stuff that the person in the video has. Sometimes it takes you just as long to plan it. There, that's really pretty. Nice. Flip it over. We're going to do the same thing to the other side. There's our basic card all done. The thing that's really amazing to me about this is that when you hold it, these bees are right side up, and then when you open it, the bees are still right side up. Huh. Isn't science wonderful? Now the next bit we're going to do can be a little bit tricky. We're going to decorate the underside of these triangles. Now the easiest way to do this is to unfold it and set something on it because it gets in your way. Now you do need 2 pieces of each of these because they're not the same from side to side. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. Now what I do with this is I put it on the piece of paper I want it to go. I look at my reveal here and my reveal here, and then I can see my score line underneath my piece of paper. What I'm going to do is I am going to make a mark where I want my reveal to be. So I'm going to put a mark here, which is about the same distance. A mark here, and a mark up here at the top. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to put, mark's hard to see on the iridescent paper, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up my trimmer with this mark and this mark, and I'm going to cut that off. Hard to see that on that piece of paper, isn't it? So there's that one and that one. And you can always adjust this. So if you go big, you can make it smaller. You can't make it bigger is the only thing. So now you see when I put that on there, it fits. Now on this one, I'm going to do the same thing with my corners. I'm going to do this corner, and then I liked the way it looked when I did this other corner. So I do the right angle and then the opposite right angle. See what I'm doing with that in there? Get out there. There you go. Let's glue that down. Of course, it's gonna jump around on me, isn't it? Yep, and there it is. It's not going anywhere else, isn't it? Oh, it's pretty even. So that was, I like to finish each side instead of flipping it and starting over on the other side. So my little trim piece, or my decorative piece that's going to go on top of this, looks like this. And again, you're going to do the same kind of deal. You're going to line it up where you want your reveal on the right and on the bottom. And then you're going to just make a mark about where you want that. This one's going to wind up in the little, actually that's not right, is it? This one I think I'm just going to take from the corner to about this row of little dots. It's a lot easier than trying to come up with some kind of measurement, because your triangle isn't exactly a triangle. It's got an extra little side on it there. So I'm going to go from the corner to that little row of dots right there. Let's see how that fits. That's just going to be pretty. Can do the same thing with these corners. Now, if you don't want to put a base piece and a decorative piece, you can just put a decorative piece there. The lady in the video just put a decorative piece on this side. It looks just fine. I thought I would go the extra little bit and put this other piece on there because I thought it looked really nice. Colors turned out really nice, didn't they? I like the way that looks. So now this is the part that is underneath your triangle. So now you've got some contrasting patterns happening there, and I think it looks really cute. Now we're going to do the other side. So hold this up. Take your piece of paper. As you can see, this is what's left from what we cut, and it won't really work. So that's why you need 2 pieces of that. And again, those measurements for this part were 4 1/4 by 3 3/4 and 4 by 3 1/2. So I've got my reveal that I want here and the reveal that I want here. I'm going to make a mark about where I want the reveal on that side. And I think I'm just going to go to the corner. It's a lot easier. So we're going to line up that corner with my mark, which is right there. And as you can see, that fits on there just swimmingly. Around these corners. I have gotten my money's worth out of this little tool, I will say that. It's been used a lot. Each one of those little corners takes on a whole different look when you put it on a different feel of card or theme of card. Look like flowers, some of them look Western. Can't say enough about that little corner punch. It's been worth every penny, that's for sure. I don't even remember what I paid for it. Erase my pencil mark. I'm going to do the same thing with our bees. Put that there. Go in that row of dots and see. This one didn't work out where it was on the corner. I don't know why that is. It's okay. So we're going to go there and there. You know I'm going to save these pieces, right? I'm going to use those for something else because they are already cut to match. So save your scrap. I think we're done with that for a little bit. Glue this on there, and we'll be ready to put our sentiments on the front, I think. Well, didn't that just turn out cute? Beautiful. So yes, we have bees going this way and bees going this way, but I actually kind of like the way that looks. Once we open it up, you don't even see those other bees. So that's the basics of our card. See how that's going to work? Now, we get to make the inside of it pretty, and I'm trying to decide what to do here. Happiness is kind of big, isn't it? Bee might be smarter. Kind of like that little bee. This came as a set. This Beautiful pack had paper stickers. It was really cute. Excuse me. Now, I think what we're going to have to do is, because you don't want this whole thing to stick down, otherwise your card won't open, is we're probably going to have to put a piece of paper on top of this and then cut it out and then glue it, which is kind of a little bit of an extra step, but I think that will work the best. So I've just got a piece of scrap here. I'm just going to stick my bee down on it. I'm going to cut it out real quick. Should have done this before, so you didn't have to watch me do it. So if you cut it, you know, on the underside of that, it doesn't need to be real pretty. Just want to keep it from sticking where it doesn't want to stick. Oh, the dog heard something he didn't like, didn't he? Someone must have set off the camera. He's very upset. Or something. So a tiny little dog, he's not going to do much to save us from impending doom. Sure sounds mean though, doesn't he? So there we go. Now we're ready to stick that where it goes. For some reason, I think I want these bees on the bottom. I don't know why. That's just where I want them. So I'm going to put this in the center, but I'm only going to apply glue to the top half of this bee. So I'm going to put it on this side. Perfect. We're going to plop him down right there. Oh, isn't that cute? And you might think, oh no, when you go to open it, he's going to face the wrong way. It would appear as such, wouldn't it? But it's not. Isn't that cool? So give that. Let's set that thing back on there maybe for a few minutes while we work out what we're going to put on the inside. So I have this cute little stamp set. I think I got it from scrapbook.com, and I think I'm just going to use this little sentiment here that says be sweet. I think we're going to take that one. Put it on my little block here. Get that nice and straight. We're going to try it in this really pretty charcoal, and I think we might even try to make it shiny. See if this will work for me. This is a cheap little set I found on Zulily. I haven't done much embossing, so I haven't really experimented with which products work the best, but I'm sure you get what you pay for. So I think I'm going to put this little bee suite in the lower left-hand corner. And let's hope this works. This paper is very absorbent, I have found, so sometimes this is successful and sometimes it's not. If it's not, we'll come up with another plan, but for now we're going to try it. One thing I do know is you want to get that ready to use before you want to get your stamp pretty wet, because you want that glitter to stick to that sentiment. We'll see if this works. It looks kind of funny. I like the way it looks on there. So I don't know if you can see that, but this is the trouble I've been having with some of my stamps. The ink pulls to the middle of the letters, and it doesn't stay all over that stamp, and I don't really know what causes that. I haven't figured out the answer. I haven't seen the solution. I just know that it's really annoying. And it's probably because the stamp is cheap. We're gonna hope we were successful. I don't think we were successful in embossing that though. Ink looked really dry when we finished. So I'm sure if you've done this before, you know that I'm probably doing this all wrong. And that's all right. Well, it looks like some of it's stuck, but we'll see. We're going to tap it on the trash can. Well, it looks like it might work. So one thing I think I need to get is the little, oh, for lack of a better word, I think it's the pillow that has the powder in it, that it just gets the embossing stuff to stick where you want it. Got like a little glob here I don't like. This is another tool that I find to be irreplaceable. Yes, it is a dental pick. Let's see what this looks like. It turned out right. As you can see, I don't have the fancy heat gun that is sold for the purposes of embossing. My husband so kindly lets me use his Milwaukee heat gun from downstairs. So, guess you use what works for you, right? There we go. So we've got that in a nice kind of pearly gray. And there's that. Now, you can tell I have forgotten to put a ribbon around this, but I think it's something we can do. I think it's something I'll work on. Those are the basic instructions for that. I hope those were helpful. I hope when I look at this again, I can do it again. Thanks. Talk to you later.